August 18, 1920, Women's Suffrage Amendment was ratified.
I love it. Outrage fuels action. And, it's kind of dystopian. You hear these crazy, as I call it, pastor asshole, talk about women this way. And here we are next week is National Women's Equality Day that celebrates the right to vote. So tell me your bite of the apple. I'll start with Fennell and then we'll go to Carrie because we have a short opening. We have a big show today.
Sure, sure. So I'll just go really fast. Is that the first thing that you think about is that this church, Peach Hegseth, who is the Secretary of Defense, attends this church. And then the second thing that I would say is I think everyone heard during the election JD Vance say that women should stay in relationships no matter how bad they were, they should tough it out. So I think that we have to find ways to fuel our anger and turn it into movement. And to me, it is nothing better, more forceful than hearing that noise and then understanding what we have to do today, which is get out and fight.
It is really hard to channel your fury in a positive way. We always try to keep things positive. So I'm going to turn it into a positive to say trust women. We've said that before with all of our rights. I don't believe some of these. I'm a devout Christian myself. We talk about this often, Catherine and I. I'm not sure these folks read the same scripture that I read because I'm coming away with a different take on that, and so does my church. But I don't understand why the other side seems so proud of these divisive opinions about people being lesser than, women being lesser than, brown people being lesser than, immigrants being lesser than. They're quite proud of those opinions, so they feel free to share them as if they're completely rational thoughts, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I'm staying positive.
Bite of that apple, that Christian theocracy, that just little pesky thing that we're up against. And I have to say, everybody in the room, I'm so glad you're here. We have a great show today. Speaking of somebody that has been fighting for women's rights for decades, we have Ellie Schmill here with us today. And we have her intern, Emily Bronson, that will be here also talking about organizing campuses across Virginia. And Ellie's going to share about why Virginia is, what's at stake and what she has up her sleeve as somebody that's seen it all. And also, it's today we really wanted to, we know how pissed everybody is, anger, outrage, scared. I just roll it in a ball after John Bolton's house was broken into, well, not broken into, the FBI are at it over here in Bethesda. We see troops in DC, troops are in Virginia, windows broken in Arlington. We get it. And what we cannot stop, what we know is it's perilous on the edge of this. We're in it. So we have to fight. This is the fight and the fury we bring to it. So we're excited also to looking at other organizations helping in Virginia. Focus on Virginia elections, people. This is where we really can make a difference. I mean, we have a chance to smash it, and we have to stop any infighting, just quiet, focus on the enemy, get fucking everybody out. We got to get people's fire under their butts because I don't feel it in certain corridors. This is the place, the election. Please get into action with us. So Sean Warner, Sister District, he is an organizing political director, will be with us today. Sean is fantastic. We really connected. He is somebody that's been fighting for equality his whole life. Just what an amazing organizer. And we know Sister District is in the fight with us. We're excited to have Sean in the room with us. And then Robin Warner. Okay, we got things for people to do, things for people to write, postcards. So she's put together a national postcard parties with all the people across the nation in Virginia, and we're going to write for these candidates. So we have a plan, and that's just one of many with our dialers and different ways to get out the vote. And then Fennell and Dennis and that group is going to really talk about our candidates in the room, Nova Power Pack. So look, we're glad you were in the right place. And a big announcement, everybody stop, breathe. We have a new link. We're up to too many. Zoom is really mad at us. Laura Bell has worked so hard, our team up there. We can't do the 2,000 links every day. So we want you, we're going to put the links in there. Sign up right now while you're drinking your coffee. Register for the new show. And our patrons in the room, thank you very much. You fuel us. And thank you so much for just putting some money in our cup every week. It means a lot. So that apple was tasty. And I love, by the way, Adam and Eve and that tree of knowledge, that little Dolly Parton thing. I appreciated that. So, all right, gals, we'll see you soon. I'm going to get our segment going. Sound good? Well, I like to bring up to the screen I call her a friend now, but in 1986, as a college student, she didn't know me. And I was marching in a march that she organized when she was the president of now, Ellie Smil. And it's so my pleasure and just to have her in the room today because she's dedicated her life. She's known as an analyst, a strategist, a grassroots organizer too, long decades of work. And now also back in 87, co-founded the Feminist Majority and has served as its president since its inception. And so we're so excited to have you here with the Equality Day around the corner, Ellie. So just your takeaway, what the heck is going on? When I talked to you yesterday, you said, I've never seen anything like this. And that's really hard to believe coming from you. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Okay?
Well, I guess that, yeah, we're all good. We can hear you looking great. And I know yesterday when we spoke on the phone, you're like, the words you heard with this full-on Christian theocracy,
Oh my God, there's
you were
just
just like, yeah. Tell me your thoughts, is some takeaway on that, and then let's get into
well, at
Virginia.
first I thought the whole thing was a joke. I mean, I like what young people are saying on this is that what generation, what century are these folks living in? Remind them where we are. Anyway, we shouldn't give them any press. It's ridiculous. And what we should focus on and stay focused on until Election Day, November 4th, is we get out the biggest vote in history. And basically that we go on the offensive. That we don't have to go on the defense. Women and an equal status is helping our country. It is not hurting it. It's increasing more the economy. It's good for society. But we need to stay focused. There's one thing the Trump crowd does is they put out some new crazy thing about hourly. I'm exaggerating, but not much. Daily, one after another after another. Stay on the vote for Virginia. Virginia is in an historic place right now. If we will be electing not the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general of our state, plus we will be making sure that it's one of the biggest votes possible, because this is the bellwether for November 26th.
Yes.
And that's the key. We have to win these elections, and we cannot lose the state that first ratified the Equal Rights Amendment, so that it's in position now. It has been ratified by the necessary 38 states. We just need now a government, a congressional resolution, and it's done it, and it's over with. And will be equal. It will be so good for so many issues that we are fighting individually. And frankly, reproductive health will be very much the decision of the woman who is going
Right.
through. It's her body, it's her choice.
You bring that up, Ellie, if I could say that constitutional amendment that will be at risk too. So when we say what's at stake, we know if we win, there's so much things that we can do, pass a constitutional amendment for marriage equality, reproductive rights, and voting restoration. But you really pointed out something to me. I want to make sure everybody hears it. Because we were the 38th state in Virginia ratify the Equal Rights Amendment, the meaning behind that, I sort of wasn't concentrating on that at all. Talk about that again. And then also what it means in PA. You're looking at this legal part of it and how it is you're strategizing. And I don't think people are thinking about this. Can you explain the legal, what you're looking at?
Well, the legal thing is that yes, we can win a constitutional amendment by constitutional amendment. Why do it that way? This ends sex discrimination law, and basically the issues you just mentioned all will be benefited. It won't go one by one, state by state. It says what equality means. We thought the 14th Amendment covered it. Well, forget that. They said, the Supreme Court said no. Well, okay. Equal Rights Amendment has been in place. It was started, the movement for it was started by the suffragists themselves. Obviously, they didn't get it, but they kept the fight going. And we are now in a position that we have got ratified 38 states. The Congress is the one that proposed it. Then we ratified 38 states, which is what you need to get the right percentage to go over the top. But as they keep on in a way changing the rules, and what we think it's ratified already. And by the way, we've had major constitutional authorities all say that it is. But if we have to show it, If we have to have another resolution, we're going to get that. And we're going to get it by making sure we stay focused and deliver the biggest vote. Women are for it, overwhelmingly for it, but so are young people. In fact, young people are for it, but women even more so. The polls are just, as that young woman said in my ear, I was in Knoxville, Kentucky just yesterday. They're celebrating not only the suffragist movement, but they're placing it right with the Equal Rights Amendment. And it's very exciting, state after state. And I believe if we win big, which I think we can and will. And by the way, the feminist majority contributing with all of our sister organizations and all the social justice organizations, we are doing a big campus campaign.
Well, let's stop there and bring up Emily Bronson, because I'm looking at the time. And you're talking about young people. So Ellie, let's bring up, I'd like to introduce the campus organizing person, Emily Bronson. You know her well. She actually did this organizing in North Carolina. So Ellie, when you're talking about young people, talk about college campuses, I'm going to put that over to Emily to tell the audience here about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. So Feminist Majority and Feminist Campus run a nationwide campaign called Vote for Equality. It's like a nonpartisan campaign that is targeted for flip states, swing states. But we have recognized that when young people vote, they have such an enormous impact. And what's even better about that, most young people, a lot of them do vote with reproductive rights in mind, climate rights, or climate activism in mind. But like for an example, in 2022, students helped defeat Dr. Oz in the Pennsylvania state race. And that margin was between 18-year-olds and 29-year-olds voting for Fetterman. It was 70 to 28%. So these aren't little margins. These aren't small numbers. But I helped with a campus campaign at East Carolina University last fall. And we had another one of my fellow interns is working with NC State. So just about an hour away from us. But it was.
What are you doing in Virginia? Emily, what's happening in Virginia? Because so let's focus on what we're doing in Virginia now, because we're excited. We want to fuel people's energy, and especially young people. You're targeting colleges and universities in these like Jessica Anderson, that is Williamsburg, Blacksburg, Lily Franklin. So you're Feminist Majority. Talk about that program to get out the vote and what it looks like in Virginia.
So that Vote for Equality hires students, organizers, especially in Virginia right now. That's one of our big target states, obviously, with everything going on. But I do have a list of universities with me that we are on. We're over 15 campuses right now. We're organizing. And I even have like a little
You
thing.
can put that in the chat if you'd like, but I love
absolutely.
The lineup. Nova Annandale campus is right by me. I think you're there. I love that you're lining up with some of like Ellie, we know the map's going to be competitive, right? We know that you're not doing this in super blue areas, right, Emily? You're targeting what does it look like, Emily, when you were an organizer in North Carolina? What will we expect that these hired organizers would do at the campus? What does that look like?
So especially my campus, fall is a busy time of year for students going back and forth between classes, just trying to figure out where to get involved in, especially some of the underclassmen. So we found it best that tabling and handing out some of our merchandise, stickers, t-shirts, pins, Vote for Equality pins. We had a bunch of them that said, vote as if your life depends on it. And that's something that we hold strong to, because it does. I mean, in such pivotal elections like this, it really does matter. But college students, I mean, they love a free t-shirt. I'm a college student. I love a free t-shirt. So just catching everybody's eye and getting them to come over and talk to us a little bit and let them know how important their vote was the most impactful thing that we could have done.
And you have an outcome of that when you had actually got rid of, what you said was Oz, or now he's back in the government. Hello, right? So
Yeah.
this is really cool because I do think what we see is students being targeted in certain states. And the hardest part is one, making sure they're registered, their residency, all that. So will you be doing also voter education as part of that?
Yes, we definitely, that is a limb of the campaign, is letting people know where they can vote, how to register, that just because they're on a campus doesn't mean that they have to vote from their hometown, that they can register in their college town, because that is their kind of permanent residence at the moment. And we noticed, like, I'm in Pitt County, North Carolina, which is a huge purple district. So a lot of red and a lot of blue.
Right.
And those were, students are easy to flip that, very easy. So
Yeah.
One of the things I want to just slip in there for
Bringing
Virginia.
Carrie in with us too. So go ahead, Ellie.
Yeah, I wanted to slip in for Virginia. We're on 15 campuses so far just in Virginia, and that number is expanding. We have enthusiastic support. We're partnering with other groups and depending on the campus, but it's very clear. If the students vote in historic numbers, they can register, by the way, all the way up. That's very unusual. You could even register on election
Yes, because
day.
you can vote election day. And we
That's
saw that with Jessica Anderson a couple of years ago, the line in the campus. So having more people knowledgeable to help those students, we saw a lot of votes thrown in the wastebasket because they weren't realizing what they were doing. So voter education is a real key piece. And Ellie, you're hiring, these are hired positions on these campuses.
Yes, the coordinators and the organizers we feel that since they're taking so much time that they deserve that, but we also make a lot of room for volunteers. So basically, we will increase the vote, and it's not only important, we think it's going to be historical because it will lead the way. It will be the bellwether for 2026. And believe me, people will stop thinking it's in spirit or whatever, that we
Right.
should submit. We don't have our own views. I mean, you heard that man. He's thinking that that's increasing. Give me a break.
No, true. No, I know.
Oh
We
my
have to
gosh.
fuel that outrage. You see your whole life that you channeled. So Ellie Schmill, president of the Feminist Majority, and also Emily Bronson, intern, and also part of the campus organizing for Feminist Majority. Thank you for being here. And we have the after chat past 1. I know there'll be a lot of questions about the program. Carrie's down in the Norfolk area and Hampton, so she's a great person. If you need to coordinate with her and get some kids, we're happy to help. So I'm going to turn it over. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Emily. And Carrie, I'm
Thanks for
turning
that
it over to
handoff.
you.
It could not be a more perfect handoff for Sean Werner, because
Sean
he and
Warner, let's bring him up.
started as campus organizers. I found that out when we talked to him this week. So it is just so cool that we're coming right after talking about organizing on campuses, right, Sean?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's where we all naturally kind of get the itch and start organizing and realize that we can have an impact. And so, yeah,
Right. I mean, if
absolutely.
you
There's no
can't,
wonder why Trump is attacking our institutions of higher learning, right? And it's because of that leadership that you just naturally develop as
yeah.
someone on campus, and that's such important work, especially for a Lily Franklin and Jessica Anderson. And so, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more, because you did start. You got your feet into this as a student activist, but then you developed a love affair with the Commonwealth of Virginia. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I want you to know that inspired me. Your little soapbox about Virginia being the first in this and the first in that inspired me for the rest of the week. So tell us about your love affair with the Commonwealth. You've been involved as an activist in Virginia for a
Yeah,
while.
so I live in Denver, and I worked at the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee in 2018. We had a great cycle, and then I got assigned the Virginia for the 2019 elections, and then just instantly fell in love with it because there was just so much great work that was happening. And as we were working so hard to flip both the House of Delegates and the Virginia Senate, it was just then, as we were sitting around in the pandemic, the world closes. And then the headlines that came out under that blue beautiful blue trifecta. The first in the South to abolish the death penalty, first in the South to extend non-discrimination protections to the LGBTQ community, first in the South, right? And the list,
Yeah.
codify abortion access. I mean, it just was absolutely remarkable. And that is the power of a democratic trifecta. And so not only do we absolutely need to hold and hopefully expand our control and our numbers in the House of Delegates, but we need to make sure that all three of the statewide constitutional officers also are Democratic as well,
Yeah.
because we
And-
know that there are so many things that we can do.
Right. And so Sister District really does focus on statewide offices, which makes my heart sing because you turn around national media and all they're talking about is the midterms. I'm like, wait. So tell us what you're doing. Because I will say that when Sister District started in 2017, it gave a lot of hope for blue districts all over the nation to know that they could get involved with districts that really needed them. And so you're organizing at the state level, which makes me happy. So tell us why you're doing it.
Yeah, so we strongly believe that the power of our government really relies in the states, right? There is a budget that has to get passed. There is, deadlines. You can't just punt it down to beyond the midterm or after people think that we're not paying attention to Epstein anymore. And it is also because state lawmakers, state legislative candidates are so courageous, right? Stepping forward and recognizing that they just want to fight for their community. They want to be their voice in that state capital. And so that's our whole theory of change, is recognizing places that have an abundance, whether that is abundance of wealth or abundance of human capacity, and really channeling that into key state legislative districts. And every year, every odd year, because there's no off years in organizing, right? Every
Right.
odd year, we're definitely in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We've endorsed 15 amazing candidates and could not be more excited about expanding that opportunity. And so basically, we are just added capacity for our campaigns on the ground. That includes, fundraising. We've been tremendously successful. I'll say the grassroots is fired up throughout the country. People are energetic about Virginia. We'll also phone bank so that our campaigns know who's with them, who's not with them, can turn them out, who's still undecided, how can we talk to them. We have a national phone bank that folks want to join that. But obviously the most effective thing for folks on the ground is to go knock on doors. So I encourage you to identify your closest targeted House of Delegates race, go knock on doors, help them organize. And yes, that is exactly what Sister District.
Well, one more thing I wanted to ask before we switch, because we have such a packed show today. So
I love it.
But tell us how Sister District selects the candidates that you all target.
Sure. And so basically, we identify places where we can make an impact. Obviously, from all of our supporters from throughout the country, we want to make sure that Democrats are continuing to amass mass power. And so looking at kind of what is the path to power in every state, it's kind of different. In Virginia, we want to make sure that the Democratic majority isn't just by one seat. And so we really looked at a lot of flip challengers. We've endorsed a total of 15. 5 are incumbents, on kind of those frontline incumbents, and then the other 10 being folks that are going to hopefully, knock on wood, flip those seats. And it's really a culmination of a path to power, as well as being able to inspire folks throughout the country that will be inspired by their story.
We're getting some some comments in the chat. If you could put your 15 endorsed candidates in the chat for us, that'd be super helpful. And someone who is super energetic about Virginia House of Delegates races, Fennell Norton, is coming up.
Nice.
I'm going to turn it over to her. Thanks, Sean, so much for all the work you're doing in Virginia. We're so glad to get the attention and all of the resources Sister District's offering to all of us in Virginia. So thank you.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's pretty awesome, Carrie. So we're going to jump right in because you still have the opportunity to move margins, and we don't think that anybody should be left out. And so there is a way to ensure that every single person who needs help gets help. And you can unleash that power with no other than Robin Warner, who is Postcards for Virginia. So why don't we bring up Robin Warner, who has been the person to get everybody all revved up today, to talk about Postcards for Virginia and the great work that they're going to be doing.
Well, thank you, Fennell. So let's talk about postcards. Our personalized postcards are a grassroots original. because we've been the frontline messengers since we all started getting involved. And you know what? Some people just poo-poo postcards, but there are a lot of benefits to postcards, much more than you think. They benefit the candidates because they show the candidate has real people giving real support. They benefit the people receiving the cards because they provide useful information at the time they need it. They benefit those of us who are writing them because let's face it, we need therapeutic writing right now. And perhaps the most important thing is writing postcards together brings community, people engaged in saving democracy. So at Postcards for VA, we have been writing postcards for our candidates since the beginning. And this year is no exception. We're writing for all of our new candidates out there because everybody deserves some postcard love. And I'm going to put information about this in the chat. But what I'm really here to talk about is a special event that the grassroots community all over Virginia is doing. We're doing a national postcard parties for Virginia, 4 nights in September. All the groups in Virginia and postcard groups around the country are coming together to give some postcard love to our candidates. We're writing postcards, 1, that will give name recognition to the candidates, 2, early voting. We in Postcard for Virginia and all of us in the grassroots know how important early voting information is. And also, we want to give people a warm, fuzzy feeling that these campaigns matter and it's real people who need to vote. So, to get involved, go to postcards4va.com/parties. Choose the date that you want or go to all of the dates. We know in postcards that they're the most powerful in down ballot races. So our postcards are for delegates, and one night is our school board night where we're just going to write for school board candidates. So I'm also talking to all you candidates in the room because I know you've received an invitation to come and be part of these national postcard parties, but some of you have not responded. So I'm going to put you on the spot because we want you there. Because postcard writers, they often hear about groups that have identified which are the campaigns that they should support, and maybe it's 10 of them or 12 of them, but we know that every race counts and that the little bit of help you give every race makes a difference up and down the ticket. Spamberger needs people all over the state voting, and it's those local races that get people out to vote. Last thing I'll say is, what do you need to be a part of this? To be a part of this, register with Postcards for VA so you can get addresses. And if you need postcards, we have lots of postcards available. You can get them at Postcards for VA through our Pro Shop. We have fabulous cards there, and I'll put them in the chat. You can also go to our website and see other ones. And if you have postcards that you've already purchased that you want to use, and you may not have a disclaimer on it, it's okay. We've got a stamp for that. Or maybe you want to put the top of the ticket on your postcard, but you don't have room for that. That's okay. We have a stamp for that. And if you want to put information about early voting on your postcard, we have a stamp for that too. All right, Vanel, what have I forgotten?
You didn't forget anything. And Robert, this is awesome. And the point that I just want to make about this is, especially for those candidates, and I can't wait to talk to Jack Bennington, those are also the people that we really want to help because we are pretty damn good at messaging and we're pretty damn good at micro targeting so that we can get to the people that you need to get to with the message that they need to hear. And I want you to know that Robin is pretty expert at creating postcards that meet the moment. And that's the other thing. We think that by the time the person flicks that card in the trash, they got the message and the information that they need. And if the card is good enough, maybe they'll stick it on the refrigerator and hold on to it. So I don't think you forgot anything, Robin. Is there anything else?
Just that we want to be writing postcards for everyone. So if you know a candidate that we don't have up, just let us know. If there's somebody who wants to write for them, we want to support them in there. So, we hope to see all the candidates on today's Power Lunch in the postcard parties. And what what happens at the postcard party, the big national ones. One, you'll hear from the candidates, probably about 8 of them that night. You'll also have a chance to ask questions. So we hope you come in because your favorite candidate is there and leave supporting another candidate that you fall in love with that night.
That's right. This is perfect. And so, Robin, thank you so much. This takes us right into our opportunity to talk to our candidates for our power packs. And you guys know what I think about power packs. It's like, fantasy football. I tell you this every week, but it's fantasy power packs. But before we go into the power packs, I always like to take you to the Virginia grassroots site so that you can just get a little bit of education. And it's also my way of educating myself and making sure that I stay engaged about Virginia grassroots and what it does. So, Dennis, my partner in this, can you bring up Virginia grassroots? Fantastic. So, the first thing that I'll say, which is what I'll always say, is to make sure that you save the link to this because every bit of information that you need about everything is here. It provides up to date information on Viva la Resistance and grassroots groups across Virginia and the nation. It also gives you the latest campaign updates and events. And in this critical election, we need to make sure that we know everything. So, our dedicated coalition has united working groups sharing reports, Virginia legislative sessions, and we have proven that when we work together, as you see here, we win. And Dennis, I really wanted to take everybody into the Viva la Resistance. You can't say that fast. I think you can click down on it. This is what's so important. If you want to know what's happening, this is how you find out what's happening. Here's the beautiful thing, whether you believe it or not, that they tell us that when you can get more than 3.5% of the population of the country engaged in activities like you see here, we have the opportunity to really stamp out what ails us, and that is this whole dictator autocracy thing. But that means people have to get involved, and that happens with each one of us. And so I'm just going to focus on this one today to tell you, look at all the marvelous things that are happening. And you can submit information here, but you can go here and find out every single thing that's happening. When we kicked off with the video today, it was horrible, but we need to know what's happening. But that takes you right into the SAVE Act. And so you can understand what they're trying to do to women and how they're trying to take away our vote. So everything that you need, if you want to get informed, help your family and friends to get informed, is right here. So with that, we're going to move ourselves right into the Power Pack. And so the Power Pack that we are going to highlight today, Dennis is going to take me right there.
I just want to point out if somebody wants to adopt a power pack, that means be on the power pack team for that power pack. Just go to this page, click on this button, and you'll fill out a form.
So you can show them, Dennis, if they wanted to adopt the power pack that we have today, just click on it really fast and they'll see. See how easy that is? So because our fantasy power pack today, if you want to adopt them, this is how you do it. So the power pack today that we're going to be talking to is Josh Thomas, Elizabeth Guzman, John McCullough, and Jack Bennington. And so if you guys would bring up that team for us today, that would be awesome. And we will get started. So while they're bringing them up, let me tell you a little bit about the districts that you guys are, because the guys that we're gonna bring up. We're going to talk a little bit about, and here they come. Yay, there you guys go. Hi, Elizabeth. It's nice to see you again. Jack, I'm meeting you for the first time. Hi, Josh. It's good to see you.
Hello.
We're missing. Oh, there you go. Wonderful. There you go. So I'm going to save Jack for last because I really want to talk to you because I know that you have the hardest district. So I'm going to sort of start with not the easiest because it's all work. So not the easiest, but because it's all work. So Elizabeth Guzman, we're going to talk to you first. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. Right. I want you to just give a short introduction. And then what I really want to hear is how you're thinking about your path to victory. And what I'll say is that in your race, we know that Harris was 49% and Trump was 48%. So you have a bit of an edge. But tell us a little bit about you and how you're thinking about this race this year.
Well, I would like to say that we are not taking anything for granted.
in Prince William County. So we're working really hard. I have the honor to run now for House District 22. And I'll be remiss if I don't acknowledge the support that I have from Network Nova in 2017 to flip my district red to blue and serve in the state legislature for 6 years. So now I'm back after 8 years later. And in House District 22, it's true, Kamala flipped the district by 1 point and Tim Kaine by 3.5 points. However, when we look at the numbers, we saw that Tim Kaine actually won my district by 10 points. We identified that there were 3,000 voters that did not vote for Democrats last year. And that's how our job starts. So this time around, we're not talking only with Democrats. We're talking with independent voters. We're talking to new voters. And also with Republicans, those who align with us in some of the issues, because people are upset. We have seen firsthand people struggling due to our proximity to Washington, D.C. We have seen families being impacted directly or indirectly. Families that are living under fear because they don't know what's going to happen with their children's future. They don't know what is with their education and with the special education and our public universities being under attack. So, Finel, to your question, we're knocking on doors every day, making phone calls, writing postcards. Thank you, Network Nova. And we are doing everything that we could to, and where we need to raise money. So I would like this opportunity to invite you, August 31st, celebrate Labor Day with us at the Stairs House with Don Bayer and Delegate Marcus Simon after the Nova Labor Picnic. We'd love to have you and celebrate and learn more about House District 22. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to come back to you. So Josh Thomas, you already know that you're next, right? And so in your yeah, you do now. HD 21 and Harris 51.5 and Trump 46. But to Elizabeth's point, you can't take anything for granted. So how are you thinking about this race?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you one, I am energized, particularly for the other people in this power pack, because I am currently seat 51 in our Democratic majority. I only won by 975 votes. So I have the slimmest win of any Democratic incumbent in Virginia state government right now. And I'm excited for someone, or in my view, all of the folks in this power pack to take that from me and become that new final seat. We feel confident, but at the same time, there can always be an October surprise. We saw that happen in 21, a literal October surprise, and then ended up losing across the board. So I would like to say also this is a full circle moment for me, because I, during the first Trump administration, became a sister district volunteer. And so to have them on the call is absolutely outstanding. And for those that want to get involved in multiple groups, I encourage you to check them out. And then I also like to go back to the discussion about postcards, because I also write my own and was just doing that earlier today. And for some of our districts, particularly for the people on this call, I'm gonna sell you on something real quick, which is this power pack. I think a bunch of you on this call should adopt this power pack, because if you want to take a look at the issues and some of the voters that we lost in 2024, the districts on this power pack are super reflective of that cohort of voters. I'm talking about where Jack is. I'm talking about where Elizabeth is. I'm talking about where John is, and to a certain degree me, but more of those three seats that they are in. Those are the types of voters that we have to admit that we lost momentarily, but we have a great opportunity to get them back. And some of those districts have a rural flair to them, particularly John and Jack's. And so those postcards absolutely make up for where we cannot get a candidate or part of our team physically, because door knocking is important. We're going to keep doing it. But those postcards are so important. For myself, I have one of the highest numbers of gated communities of any district where you cannot canvass ever. And so a postcard is a meaningful way to connect with a voter, convey our message. As you said, we're great at messaging. We just got to make sure folks are absolutely listening. And so a postcard's a great way to do that. But again, the energy is high, selfishly, because I can't wait for someone to take the 51 mantle from me. And I'm happy to support everyone else in this power pack. And I hope that you will adopt this power pack, because it's a great way to show nationally how Virginia was able to flip these three seats and keep mine with a message that we know wins, and with voters that we can actually get back.
That is awesome, Josh. You see that? That's what a veteran does for you. So here's the thing. So Dennis, you're going to keep track of this to see how many people adopt this power pack today.
Yes.
So we want to know if someone is going to sign up today and adopt this power pack. And I think the other thing is we think about Jack's race. We're going to come back. We're going to come to him. you've said it. This power pack is important, which means that he needs all of your help. So whatever time that you guys can devote to him, he told us today that he's a one-man show. And so we can't let him be a one-man show. We got to help him out. So John, I'm going to jump to you. So HD 30. Now let's see. You 48.4 was Harris and Trump 49. So tell us a little bit about what's happening in HD 30.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for having me on here. Catherine, Stair, Carrie, Fanal, you guys have been doing this for a long, long time. And I am deeply appreciative. I met some of you when I first worked for Delegate Reed in the legislature a little bit of a long time ago, too. And we were fighting this fight at the beginning, and now we are still fighting it again. So thank you for everything you're doing, and thank you for everything you continue to do. This district is the closest district in Virginia, and it is right in the backyard of all of you here in Northern Virginia. Trump won it by less than a point. Biden won it 5 years ago, by less than a point. This is ripe to flip, as Catherine just pointed out, hot to flip in 2025. So this is also the only chance that we have to flip a Trump seat in Northern Virginia. It's the only one that is, within that 45-minute drive from the district line. Jack's a little further out because you got to go down past Gainesville. But this is the best chance we're going to have. And the other chance, you all probably know her. Her name is Lily Franklin, down in the battleground of Blacksburg. She's got a college. We don't have that here. So this is a place where I really need the field support, the folks who want to come out and knock doors and learn more about what is behind me here, which is beautiful Western Loudoun County and Northern Fauquier. You may know it if you like horses. You may know it if you like wine. You may know it if you like bed and breakfasts, of which I've got a little one down in Jack's district in Warrenton. And move through. Yep, we got that down here too. We got the little bus that goes through the district and all that good stuff. It's a wonderful place to come knock. It is some hard turf. If you're good at knocking rural doors, this is the place to come. We've also got some great suburban turf in Aldi and in Purcellville, as well as Round Hill. But let me tell you about why this is so important here. Beyond the knocking, beyond the fact that it is getting close to flipping, is that my opponent is exactly the person you are all here to fight back against. There were 3 constitutional amendments up last year. He voted against all 3 of them, meaning he voted against making sure the right to choose is codified, which is more important than ever. He voted against making sure the right to marry whomever you love is codified in Virginia forever. That's becoming increasingly important next year. Even Mike Weaver, Jack's opponent, voted for that. And I think Lovejoy might have as well. So he is further to the right than most other Northern Virginia Republicans, and it's his time as well. So he also voted against the amendment to make sure that folks can vote after serving their time. So I would love to have you out here. I would love to have your contributions, both on the doors, on the phones, in the mailboxes, and yes, in the Act Blue as well. But thank you so much for everything you've done. And please, to echo Josh, please come adopt us.
Yes. Okay. You guys are doing a hard sell. That's pretty awesome. John, who is your opponent?
His name is Gary Higgins. He's a first-term incumbent. So he got in there in 2023. He's run a couple of times for the state Senate, where John Bell defeated him, and he served in the Board of Supervisors here in Western Loudoun County, as well as on the school board. And we all know all the chaos going on there. But one of the things that, from an environmental perspective, if folks are focused on what's going on with data centers out here, he voted for the zoning amendment that allowed them to be by right out in Loudoun County, which is why we have 300 of them now out here. So he had a role in that as well. But yeah, I encourage you to look it up. I'll drop a couple links in the chat that, our polling shows we're neck and neck. And the State Navigate website that I know many of you follow has us now as within a point in the closest race in the Commonwealth. So now's the time.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, this more adoption news, folks. That this is what you got to do. This is your fight. Jack Bennington, I'm so excited to talk to you. And so your race, Harris 36 and Trump 62.
Yeah.
So talk about a tough road to hoe. But I never think these things are impossible. And clearly you don't either, because you're there and you're doing this work. So talk to us a little bit about you and your strategy. And then I'm going to ask you first, what is it that you need? And I want to hear something that's different. I don't want to hear the same old, because the same old obviously isn't going to help you win this race. So talk to us a little bit about your district, and talk to us about, if you could do this weird thing that you could do, what would you do?
Well, the 61st district is a district that I grew up in. I moved here in 1990 to the town of Warrenton. The 61st district comprises just south of where John is, and then it goes to the northwest of Culpeper County and then all of Rappahannock County. It's got a blend of suburban as well as rural aspects to it, which I think is why people flock to that area. So you can drive just a little bit in one direction, you're out in a rural setting, or you drive into another area and you're a little bit more in a convenient location where you have more things available to you. The district is represented by Mike Webert. I don't think he's a terrible person. I just don't think that he has our interest at heart. What I have seen from him, he's spoken to my students. I'm a high school teacher. He's spoken to my students numerous times. And the things that he proposes, I kind of consider it fluff, or it's taking care of people that are important to him and agriculture. If it's agriculture or guns, he's focusing on. If it's not, then I don't think he really focuses on it. And I think that that's what the people of the 61st district are looking for. As far as like what you said, yes, it is an uphill battle. 65-35 is usually the average as far as the way that the elections go. But I went through U.S. Army Flight School at 41 years of age. So if I can get through that at 41, then I know I can win this election. And I can also then do a pretty good job as a delegate. As far as what I need to I need to have as many people give me some ideas as far as thinking outside the box, as far as digital ads, as far as postcards, as far as anything that would be something that you think of as something that hasn't been done before. Because obviously we haven't had a lot of success in the previous elections. And so I'm always open to ideas. I don't claim to know everything about campaigning, but this has been a great experience, and I've been extremely grateful and happy for the opportunity to do this. And your all support is wonderful. Every time I get donations, anytime I see people and I stop by any of the Democratic offices and I see people writing postcards, it's always a source of encouragement. And the other thing too is that I think what has been really helpful too is people like John. John has been a sounding board for me. I've asked him questions about certain things, how to get started, and he's been there to help me out with that. One of the other things that's really interesting is that Elizabeth Guzman, she's spoken to my students numerous times when she was representing a portion of Fauquier County. And I take inspiration from her, because look what she was able to do, where she was able to flip that district and no one really gave her a chance. And she was able to do that. And that was inspiring to me, and I think to a bunch of other people as well.
Okay, if you guys don't think that this is your fantasy power pack, I don't know what else to say to you. I really don't. So let me just say this. Robin Warner used to always say this about all of the folks who are part of this grassroots organization and work that we do. She said that if anybody had to hire us, they couldn't afford us. So I think that you've come to the right place today, Jack, in terms of ideas and creativity and how we might think about making sure that the very best can happen in your district. If that's winning, that's winning. If it's moving the margins further than anybody thought they could move, then that's winning too. So we'll figure that out. I only
Just
have
wanted to say one thing though. I really do appreciate it. Sorry for the interruption. We have been getting out and knocking on doors, and that has been what I think is one of the most powerful things to do, because a lot of people don't think about the fact that there's a choice. And so many times people don't look at the 61st district and they just think, oh, it's just going to be Republican. And when I've been knocking on doors and I've been talking to people, they say, oh, wow, there's someone that's running. And it was just a great encouragement to see that people are receptive to that.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear some of the ideas that might come out of all of this. So I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to do one thing. You only have a few seconds, and it doesn't mean that it has to materialize. But if there's one sort of crazy idea that you've had that you said, well, if the world was, right, and the moon was in the right place and everything in the sun was shining, I could do this thing. What is the one thing? So it doesn't have to be realistic, but it's just one crazy thing that you could do. What would it be? So I'll start with you, John. You put your thinking cap on, put your creativity.
Is this a campaign concept or down in Richmond next year?
It could be a whatever concept about running races.
Okay. I mean, down in Richmond, like next year, I would love to build a world where college was free for everyone. I think that we have to make sure that that's affordable for everybody. Virginia's got a great job at making fantastic schools, but they're not affordable for many people here. I live in a very educated district, and I'm very lucky to do that. In terms of campaign ideas, if I could do, I've got one of my staff on the line here. She might have a different idea, but if I could do one thing that made our lives easier, it would be that everyone picked up the phone during call time. That'd be great.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Not creative, but it would help a lot.
That is very good. That is a good wish to have. Okay, Josh, how about you?
I guess down in Richmond, I would tax the data centers at the state level, a lot more, and currently it's zero. So that's something I would do. And then on the campaign, I'm gonna get a little, again, selfish for my pack here, my power pack. I'm gonna check in and see, did we get anybody to sign up yet? Because my crazy dream would be that we walk away with 25 people who adopt us from this broadcast here today. So that's my crazy idea. I feel like we might be able to accomplish it.
Okay, that's pretty good. I like that. Elizabeth Guzman, what is yours?
Well, I would like to have the largest majority in the House of Delegates Virginia have ever had. And a path to get there is by electing every single one of these power pack and flipping this district red to blue. And then for the campaign, I would ask you not to be discouraged to knock on rural doors. I have the rural part of Prince William County. And it's, as Jack was sharing and John was sharing with us, you can go in pairs. And the impact that you're going to make on those doors is just so powerful. Those voters are going to get not only their family to vote for you, but they will get their neighbors. They will turn into volunteers, and they will donate because no one has touched them before. And it is extremely, extremely important. So come to our district, knock on doors, come in pairs, go to the rural areas and get a wine, a glass of wine.
That's all right. That's pretty awesome. And Jack Bennington, you get to go last.
What I would suggest, one thing, if I was to get elected, I would propose a law that would say that monopoly utility companies like Dominion Energy have to disclose to all of their users how much money they have given to the candidates and campaigns, just so that people understand what's going on. The thing that I would like to see on the campaign, just a little bit more information on the van where I could completely understand every single thing that's about it, so that I'm knocking on the door and it's up to date. Because sometimes I've knocked on the doors and you look at it and you're thinking to yourself, well, that's not the person that was on here. So somehow if that could be a little bit more effective, that'd be nice. And then I really think John's, if everyone would answer the phone when you call, that'd be a great one right there.
Leave a message though.
Oh, I do.
Because they will respond to your email and they will respond to your message. I've seen quite a few of those.
They
in fairness, I don't answer the phone every time people call me, so it's a wish without a willingness to participate in the wish on my end.
But you do listen to the message, so do leave a message. You will listen to the message. It's just sort of the new normal now.
Hey, for now, I would love it too. Like, I know we're at the hour, but the creative thing one creative thing your campaign has done, I'm interested. Like, Fennell just did hot dogs and hot takes, and she did an event for voters to know about stuff. And so, Josh, and I love your idea of taxing data centers. That is incredible. Josh, what is one creative thing you like to share that's really worked well for your campaign?
Yeah, so we have, again, like I said, one of the highest number of gated communities out of any of the battleground districts. Well, out of the battleground districts, probably the highest. We have one community that is so large, the voting precinct location is behind the gate. So that tells you how many thousands of homes are back there. And it's a 55 and up community. And it also is an entire precinct where canvassing is illegal because the HOA bylaws say that no one can canvass. You have no First Amendment right politically. And they're allowed to do that because HOAs are private contracts. Wild piece of American real estate law that you did not care about. But the thing that we have done to get around that is we have some very key players in there. And so what we do is we do kind of just house parties that are not your traditional, like what you see at a fundraiser. They're free. It's also not like a meet and greet. I think people have an idea in their mind of what it is. It's very much like more of a listening session, but not on kind of the incumbent official side, but more on just the candidate side. And so I think people who are not Democrats and maybe independents or maybe politically homeless Republicans get very curious and progressive curious, and show up at their neighbor or friend's home or their golf buddy's home. And I'm there. I don't like pop out. I mean, they knew I was going to be
Pop
there.
out of the closet.
And we have
I love it.
a good
Okay,
discussion.
well, I want to make
And-
sure we get it to everybody, but I love that. That is the idea of the hot dogs and hot takes. I love that. And that's how actually we found that certain people inside clubs have found other Democrats and formed groups. Elizabeth, what's something creative that you guys have done?
I just don't care, as to Jack's point, I don't care about on the turnout score, support score.
Right.
What we do is go and talk to every voter who voted in the presidential election.
Door to door though, so like
Door
what are
to
you
door,
doing? Like
yes.
you having events, or what's something you can say to people, give your other Power Pack an idea that's been working for you? Or maybe we
Talk
need
to everybody, don't make a pitch don't go by them. Don't introduce yourself and sell yourself as you wanted to do for the district. What is your vision? And I would tell you that I've been getting Republicans to get on board with us. They are upset. They want to make their voices heard. So I talk to non-traditional voters and educate them on early voting, vote by mail, and I register voters on the go as well.
Awesome. And I'm going to go to John and then Jack.
Yeah, so District 30 is a lot of farmland. We still grow a lot of our food locally. So this is a quirky one, but about once a week, I will do a local food night where I'll cook my girlfriend and I a meal using all local food, and I'll tag all of the places they came from across Instagram and on the internet. And it started out as just kind of like just being supportive of local businesses. But as a result, all those businesses then reach out to me, ask me to then come by, or ask if they can host an event, or ask if they can donate. And so it's actually turned out to be a great strategy, just doing like local food cooking night. She's on the call, actually. She can text into the chat if the food's actually good. I don't know if it is, but it's up to her.
Do I see a cooking show? I see a cooking show.
I see a cooking show too. But I do think what happens, it stimulates other Power Pack people to say, I'm going to do that. Jack, and I know that you have Susan Hartford is really in the Bilton crew.
Yes.
They really insist to be part of this Power Pack, just so you know. We're like, Jack, he's great. Okay. So anything unique that you are doing?
Well, what we are doing is, like you just mentioned, it was the Bilton Strong, getting out people to areas that normally would not be canvassed by Democrats. And Bilton's changing. And we're starting to now, what we're going to likely do is have a pickup truck where you probably get my dad's pickup truck. I'll be on that, and then we're going to go around. We'll go around to the neighborhoods, not being too much of a nuisance, but just let people know that, hey, look, we're here. Something that's a little bit different. Places like in Bilton and other parts of the Fauquier County and the district, a lot of people who are Republicans or who are moderate or who are Democrats or independents, they kind of look at it as like, well, can I possibly be a vote for a Democrat or not? And we're trying to encourage you. Yeah, you can. And so I think even though that may not come across as creative for that area, it is creative to be a little bit more noisy.
I'm kind of channeling a Blues Brother thing. We're driving around with the speaker, like, party down the street. Well, great. I want to make sure. I just love these ideas because I know like that Instagram is really smart. I think when we talk about social media, getting businesses involved, I think every single one of us should make sure that we do stuff like that. All right, I'm going to wrap up because I want to make sure Carrie has, again, something we're going to wrap up together. So we'll see you guys on the other side.
It was wonderful, guys.
Stay a few minutes. And
inspiring.
Yeah, when we go out to the other side, we also will open up with some stuff for a nice little ad that we are excited to show everybody that will just get you all pumped up the right way. So Carrie, take away.
My big takeaway, I don't know, just being innovators. Like Sister District, where they started in 2017, it was just an amazing thing. Kind of got my creative juices flowing, hearing all the candidates talk about different things. So I'm just excited. It was a very upbeat show today. I'm thankful for it.
Like an ice cream and canvassing for now.
After the not letting your wife vote comment, I needed some uplifting comments today.
I submit all the time to my husband. I submit the dishes. I submit the words. I submit my feet for him to rub. So for now.
Yeah, I'm with like Catherine, that I do all that kind of submitting too. But I think that sometimes you do have to have something to fire you up. And I think that was fuel to fire people up, to let you know these are the things that are happening. But then right in the end, with all of our candidates and with Robin, it lets you know exactly what you can do, that you can have an impact, big or small. And then the candidates are pretty amazing. And I just think that this is the time. We are in a different moment. So yes, you can use all the same old tactics that you've always used, and I want you to do that, but I want you to do an and do some other creative kinds of things to get people all fired up.
And it's gone beyond the van. And I heard Elizabeth Guzman say that, and she is a veteran. And I'm glad, I hope they meet every once in a while and share ideas and that kind of relationships that matter. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for our guests. What a great show we've had today with the president of Feminist Majority, Ellie Smil, and Everly Bronson, her intern for Feminist Majority. Really get fired up next week, Women's Equality. Join us for the Power Up Virginia vote. We have an event with all of our partners. That's on August 28th at 7. And with Senator Danica Rome is going to be there. Also Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan is going to be on that Power Up call. We'll put that in the chat. But yeah, so make sure you're doing events next week and even the campaign people, candidates, focus women next week, equality. People will get excited to come out and canvass if it has some kind of great centering idea. And that, again, we have a new link. You have to re-register. This link will no longer work that you got into the room today. Register for the new link. Let's put that in there, please. Make sure you follow us on Substack, on YouTube, and all that good stuff. Next week, we have our national show on August 29th. Susan Wagner is back from Markers of Democracy. We have Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, from Chicago. And that'll be exciting. James Walkinshaw, candidate for CD11 in Virginia. Robin is back with some persisterhood talk, with Ann Timmons, communications artist, playwright. And we have It's My Party Play going on in Arlington. So we're going to get it going. And Dennis, get us to the other side and then get our boyfriend queued up, because we want to get this party going in the after chat. All right. So let's show the credits. See you on the other side. All right.
Not
Have
my
a
boyfriend. He needs to
weekend.
stop calling
No.
me.
Yeah.
He's texting me every day. My new boyfriend texts me every day.
Boyfriend,
Well,
let's
you
roll
need
those.
to stop it.
I know
Just
he's
be
texting all of you.
I know. So Dennis, get
He's
the
texting
credit.
all of
We're
you.
going to roll out. Thank you, guys. See you on the other side.